Hello class, Miss P here. Today's video is going to be about Memorial Day. Even though I'm sending this video this week and Memorial Day isn't until this next Monday, I still wanted to send it out this week so that we know why we have this next Monday, the 25th, off of school. So we have our article. I'm actually reading the article today from history.com. The link to this article will be in the description on the YouTube video, but I wanted to do something a little different, go a little bit more in depth into Memorial Day. This is a pretty long article, so I'm going to kind of hit different parts of it, but feel free to read the whole thing if you want to learn more about Memorial Day. So let's jump in here. So it says, Memorial Day is an American holiday observed on the last Monday of May, honoring the men and women who died while serving in the United States military. Memorial Day 2020 occurs on Monday, May 25th, so that's this upcoming Monday. Originally known as Decoration Day, it originated in the years following the Civil War and became an official federal holiday in 1971. Many Americans observe Memorial Day by visiting cemeteries or memorials, holding family gatherings, and participating in parades. Unofficially, it marks the beginning of the summer season. So let's learn about some of the early observances of Memorial Day. Observances meaning some of the first ways that people celebrated. So the Civil War, which ended in the spring of 1865, claimed more lives than any conflict in U.S. history and required the establishment of the country's first national cemeteries. By the late 1860s, Americans in various towns and cities had begun holding springtime tributes to these countless fallen soldiers, decorating their graves with flowers and reciting prayers. It says, did you know? Each year on Memorial Day, a national moment of remembrance takes place at 3:00 p.m. local time. It is unclear where exactly this tradition originated. Numerous different communities may have independently initiated the memorial gatherings, and some records show that one of the earliest Memorial Day commemoration was organized by a group of freed slaves in Charleston, South Carolina, less than a month after the Confederacy surrendered in 1865. Nevertheless, in 1966, the federal government declared Waterloo, New York, the official birthplace of Memorial Day. It says Waterloo, which first celebrated the day on May 5, 1866, was chosen because it hosted an annual community-wide event during which businesses closed and residents decorated the graves of soldiers with flowers and flags. And there's a picture of maybe a Medal of Honor and a soldier. So here's about Decoration Day. We will skip over this, but this is some of the original ways that they celebrated. So the history of Memorial Day, or Decoration Day, as it became to be known, originally honored those lost while fighting in the Civil War. But during World War I, the United States found itself embroiled in another major conflict, and the holiday evolved to commemorate American military personnel who died in all wars, including World War II, Vietnam, Korean War, and the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. So I'm going to skip ahead to some of the traditions. Cities and towns across the United States host Memorial Day parades each year, which right now, with our current state of affairs, I don't believe any parades are going to be happening. They often incorporate military personnel and members of veterans organizations. Some of the largest parades take place in Chicago, New York, and Washington, D.C. So we can look forward to in the future having parades, but there are other ways that we can celebrate now from home. Americans can also observe Memorial Day by visiting cemeteries and memorials. Some people wear a red poppy in remembrance of those fallen in war, which is a tradition that began with a World War I poem. On a less somber note, many people take weekend trips or throw parties and barbecues on the holiday, perhaps because Memorial Day weekend, which is the long weekend comprising of Saturday and Sunday before Memorial Day itself, unofficially marks the beginning of summer. So we take Monday off of school in observance, in remembrance, in a way to say thank you and honor those that have lost their lives fighting for us and our freedoms in all of the wars in American history. So while there might not be a parade for us to go to, we can still, in our hearts and our minds, say thank you to those that have fought and served and died. So we can, like the article said, we could wear a poppy, which is kind of the symbol of Memorial Day, or we can check out some patriotic crafts that we could do. So I found this article on sheknows.com. It's a parenting blog, but they had some really cute ideas for crafts that could be made with things that we already have at home. Like I say, don't go out and buy things if you don't need to, but here's some ways that we can make some crafts from things that we already have at home. So again, I'll put a link to this website in the video description, but we could do things like make a patriotic jar candle. We might have some glitter at home and a jar that we could use and some glue. Here's some paint sticks. If you've got some paint sticks or even sticks from your backyard and you can paint them up and make a flag. You can make a paper bag kite out of, this looks like a gift bag, but you can use maybe a reusable grocery store bag and reuse it as a craft. You can make a printable patriotic pinwheel. I think the link to this is down below in the article. You can print it out and stick it on a pencil and make a pinwheel for your yard. You can make a sun catcher. This looks like plastic and some tissue paper and painter's tape. So we might have those things laying around the house. Firework painting is really fun if you've got some paint. You do this with a fork. So you dip the fork in the paint and then you make the pattern of the firework. I've also seen it done with toilet paper rolls. If you have an empty toilet paper roll, you can cut into the edges and kind of flay them out like this, and then dip that into the paint and make your firework pattern. If you've got an egg carton hanging around, you can paint that and make a flag out of that. If you've got some straws, like I said, straws, sticks, you can make an American flag with it. Shaving cream fireworks is always fun. Mix some shaving cream with some paint. You can put it on the paper, mix it, and it kind of, if you peel it up like this, it'll make double and kind of make a cool thing. Tissue flags. If you've got some tissue paper at home, you kind of take the tissue paper and say this is your pencil, and you bunch up the tissue paper around it, and then you take this, dip it into glue, and then put it onto the paper, and it'll stay stuck up kind of like that. So you can make one of those, or you can just let your imagination run wild. So there's ways at home that we can help celebrate Memorial Day and say thank you to those that have fought and lost their lives for us on Memorial Day. So if you have a barbecue, any way you want to celebrate, I hope you guys have a nice Memorial Day, and we'll see you next time for our next national holiday. Bye.